I am Rebecca Michaels, and I am your host for today. I'm really glad to see all of you here. I hope everyone's summer is off to a fantastic start. And I'm going to kick off with a little bit of housekeeping. So as I already said, please put any questions that you have in the Q&A tab. If you ask questions in the chat, we will invite you to move it over to the Q&A instead. We have so many people on to answer those questions for you and to help you today. And we'll be answering in real time, but we also have some questions that we will save for the end, and we will answer those with people who are here on the call today. And then finally, if you want to comment or chat to fellow sellers, use the chat section and remember to select the all panelists and attendees option so it goes out to the whole audience. Now on to the agenda for today. This month's theme for our content is Traffic Month, and all of our speakers are here to talk about exactly that. First up, Andrea will provide a seller news roundup and also share some of your social media and on-site marketing tips that we sourced directly from you, sellers. Bradford is here, and he's going to walk us through the eBay buyer experience strategy, and we'll highlight some of the recent enhancements and improvements to the marketplace to keep our buyers coming back again and again. We also know that search is an important topic for sellers. So Mohan is here to talk us through the importance of structured data and how it enables us to expose your listings to internal traffic and channels. Okay, I said structured data. What does that mean? It sounds really techy, but it simply means data that's like really specific, organized, and easily understood by machines, especially the ones that like drive search engines and things like that. And then finally, Harry is here to walk you through some of the on-site marketing tactics that you can use to drive traffic and sales for your listings. And then, as I said at the end, we'll have a little bit of time to answer some of the unanswered questions. Some of them are unanswered questions from last time. Hopefully answer a few live today as well. And then finally, if you stay to the very, very end, as the meeting ends, you'll be prompted to complete a survey. And if you do, you'll find out about a little surprise from us to you, and I think it'll be worth your while. And so with that, it's over to Andrea to kick things off. Welcome, Andrea.
Thanks, Rebecca, and hello, sailors. Happy summer, happy June, and happy increasingly getting back to normal. I feel like that should be a part of our greeting these days. So I've got two jobs today. One is just a roundup of the latest seller announcements. And then the second is to talk a little bit about what you told us were your tips and tricks around social media and on-site marketing. So I will, if we can flip the slide, we'll start off with the seller news roundup. So three things I wanted to highlight this month. The first is our reopen report. So the world is reopening slowly but surely, I think, faster in some areas. And we recently released the first installment of our reopen report that really shows what's selling well, especially as we keep getting more into a normal range. So definitely check out the report to see if there are any inventory insights that you can use for your business. And for all of these news roundup items, the team will be dropping the links into the chat. And then keep your eye out for further installments of the reopen report. There's more coming over the coming months. The next big announcement this month was the launch of post-sale authentication for handbags. Huge news to handbag sellers and your buyers. So authenticity guarantee is now expanded to include luxury handbags over $500 from 16 luxury brands. So bags from prominent labels like Gucci, Chanel, Louis Vuitton will now be vetted and verified by a team of professionally trained authenticators. And this is just another step in our exciting journey to continuously improve the buying and selling experience category by category. And honestly, it's also another move that solidifies the marketplace as a top destination for buying and selling of that enthusiast, high value, hard to find, really great inventory that we know eBay really is known for. So super excited about that one. And then the final one is a really lovely seller spotlight that we launched yesterday, the fifth in the series. And this one highlights Jim Rodman. and his eBay business, JR Clocker. So you can probably tell from the name of his business, but Jim restores and sells antique clocks and watches. And while he calls it a bit of a dying art, he has definitely created a very robust and healthy business. And it's a lovely story. He's passing the business on to his son and working together with his son. And so I definitely encourage you to take a moment and click the link and take a minute to see the video and read the Q&A that accompanies it. And then there are more videos coming, so certainly continue to watch this space. And then so turning to what you told us about social media, we asked you to share how you promote your eBay store, your eBay inventory on social media, and I'll read a couple of the highlights. Sophia says that she blasts across all platforms, which I love, but she also says that she's seeing that TikTok has shown a lot of potential. And I think that's great that we're expanding into some of the newer platforms. Kathy says that she posts most of her listings to all avenues using hashtags and keywords. Way to go, Kathy. Treasures by Brenda says that they share tidbits of insights about something that they learn about the inventory or about their buyers, and sometimes personal stories about who they are on their social media. And then Libby talks about using all sorts of platforms and trying to make social media social and keeping to that 80-20 rule of 80% sort of social content and 20% sort of selling or transactional content, which is great. And I think all of this really is amazing because it shows that you are building relationships with your buyers and relationships with your community with a great mix of inspirational content and then that transactional content or highlighting the inventory that you have. Because we know that buyers love being part of a community. They love knowing who their sellers are. They love understanding the story behind the story. Where you got your inventory, how you get the great finds. So keep that up, definitely. And this is sort of the interactive portion of today. So if you've got other tips or tricks, please do post them in the chat, and we will be capturing them. And I'm sure your fellow sellers would love to hear as well. If we transition to the next slide, we also asked you which on-site marketing tactics you're using to drive traffic and sales. And so what you told us. Tammy said that she gets super excited when she sees the send an offer notification. So I hope that's working well for you, Tammy. Wendy said that she started using promoted listings this year and that she's seen a definite increase in sales. Hawa says that she's loving sending offers to watchers. And Libby said that she's using sort of sales and markdowns in one category at her store over and then iterating it to other categories, and that customers seem to love that. We obviously received tons of other ideas, and we'll continue sharing those. And I also hope that many of you are starting to try out the coded coupons and are seeing success with that. Obviously, lots of tools have been coming, continue to build our portfolio of tools that you can use to drive marketing and take control of your marketing. So would love to hear what's working for you, where the room for improvement is, and also encourage you to keep testing and learning about what works for you as consumers evolve and as our tools evolve. So that's it for me right now. And with that, I will hand off to Bradford, who is going to talk to you about some of our updates in our buyer experience strategy. Bradford?
Thank you, Andrea. Hi, everyone. I'm excited to be here. As I've been to these sessions a few times in the past, my world centers around buyers. So it's nice to take a breather and think about our selling community. And thank you. So thanks so much. Without your inventory and your awesomeness, our buyers wouldn't have anything to shop. So I'm just going to continue on the story that I've been telling the last couple of years when I've come in front of these audiences, and wanted to just keep you abreast of what we're building and reintroduce our strategy. So the next slide, please. We've been focusing on three major groups when I think about it. I mean, obviously we have 187 million active buyers, but not every buyer is the same, and not all tactics in terms of experience or even what they're expecting from a modern marketplace is the same. So just want to ground you in these are like three areas of focus for us as an organization in the buyer experience. One is we want to keep our buyers. A lot of our buyers have been with us for a really long time. Some have come because of COVID. Some are literally brand new. But we focus on delighting active buyers. Since last year, many of you will remember when we came here, and a lot of us, Jordan, Andrea, myself, talked about pushing into more verticalized experiences. This was really centered on our enthusiast customers. These are people who have passions like comic book collectors or trading cards enthusiasts, or even just fashion lovers, people that buy handbags way too often than probably they should. We're building awesome new experiences, protections, policy for a lot of our enthusiast customers. And our main focus this year is on 5 different segments. One is luxury. This is collectible fashion, your handbags, your watches, your sneakers. One is what we call deep value SKU, which is about outlet inventory, refurbished inventory, but brands for less, essentially. Collectibles, I think everyone knows, that's the classic kind of eBay space to play in. Home and garden, we are just kicking off and building a really awesome strategy. So you're going to see some major improvements in the home and garden space. And then reinvigorated focus on motors and home and garden. And then lastly, we're pivoting right now into really focusing on new buyers. We had, as a result of COVID, a lot of new buyers, a lot of young buyers try eBay for the first time. And we're really building an experience in our native apps and our mobile experience, so on the phone, as opposed to focusing more on the desktop for these new customers. So just wanted to say, these are the buyers that we're thinking about day in and day out. And if you go to the next slide, I've shown this before. I don't know if anyone remembers, but I always say this, if you remember 4 things about what my team is trying to build, these are the 4 words. Verticalize, I just talked about. The way you shop for a car part, the way you shop for a $20,000 watch, and the way you shop for a deal on t-shirts is very different, and the expectations from customers are very different. And we're basically rebuilding eBay vertical by vertical to satisfy customers, both buyers and sellers' needs. We are on a journey to remove the clutter of 25 years of eBay. And if you look at some of our experiences that I'll show you today, we're starting to deliver on simplifying our experience. Personalization remains like the heartbeat of eBay. I say a lot when I'm here that we are a data company. We know the price of anything in the world. We know what the world is searching for, and we know what our customers have coveted and bought and the things that they care about. Like maybe they love buying vintage in one category, but new in another. We have all this data and we could do so much more with it. And we're going to continue to keep doing that. So delighting customers with what I call serendipity, when something falls in front of them that they weren't actively looking for, but we anticipate their needs. And then lastly, modernizing. This is any modern player has to do this. A lot of our focus here has been moving to modern technology stacks so that we can be more nimble, more modularized, more personalized on the buyer experience. But we are investing in our tech-led reimagination of this company, and a lot of that you won't see day to day because it's actually back-end technology, but we are focusing on it right now. So if you go to the next slide, I'll start to show you the cool stuff. Last I was here, about a year ago, maybe even less, we talked a lot about sneakers. Andrea just talked about, we rolled out authenticity guarantee to another category, handbags, but we are continuing the drumbeat and the innovation for the sneaker customer. One of the things we launched recently is an e-tag. So as you know, or maybe you don't know, any sneaker over $100, we send to our authentication centers. And they are repackaged in eBay branding materials, and they go out to the customer, and we guarantee that it's real. And we protect the seller from any buyer fraud as well as a result of it going through our third-party authentication service. But we are now attaching this really awesome technology. It's like a little eBay badge onto the shoe. And it allows you to, when you get home, it's basically like a record of what this shoe is. And the great thing, Harry, as you know, partnered with Harry's team, that if a lot of sneaker buyers are not buying them to wear or even to keep, they're buying them to flip them and sell them again. This is like your like a true entrepreneurial category. This little tag allows you to just literally hold your phone up to it, and you can pre-list and pre-populate a listing on eBay with little to no work as a result. We are evolving search. Mohan is here to talk about search, but I'm here to tell you about the visual design of search. Search is a lot. When you type in Rolex, you get a lot of stuff. We're starting to build groupings of products within search. So imagine like breaking up the grid of search, but putting more themes in there. This could be authentication, as you see here, but it could be a special deal. It could be direct from a brand. It could be just categorical groupings in the future. But we're starting to play around with how we visually represent items when you're searching for them. And then lastly, under the home and garden charter, here's a great example of something that we're doing. Like we are starting to take very seriously, and this just launched this week in the United States, the ability to customize things. So if you sell products that allow for customization, whether that's embroidery or signage or tags or labeling, we are in several hundred categories launching a first version of item customization. So we can answer questions in the chat if you have any furthers, but just getting off the ground. We launched the pilot in the United Kingdom a couple months ago, and it's coming to North America now. Next slide. Simplification. I love it. Like our item page on the native apps experience, or our iOS or our Android app or our MWeb experience is really complex. We have information about you, the seller. We have information about the product, all chopped up and in weird places. But we're redesigning this experience right now, and it's really starting to take off and become a more modern experience. You can see here on the left what we're calling a Wayfinder module, but essentially we're doing a tabbed experience that keeps everything, item information about the seller, information about shipping, information about the product in an easy way to kind of go in and out of it rather than scrolling up and down through a lot of other stuff. We're making it really easy to shop on eBay. We're also seeing awesomely seller cart improvements. So we know that everyone here on this call cares so much about their brand building and their point of view in the world, and we don't always show that off. I'll be super transparent. We are leaning in way more heavily to show off who you are, why our customers can contact you and have dialogue with you, and your ratings and things like this. So you see, we're going to do more and more here, but we are now bringing the seller front and center way more visually. And then lastly, we've actually starting to expand image size on items. So images sell. I'm sure most of you know this, but we haven't done a great job at like showing off the images in the size and scale and that they should be. And so we've continued to make improvements to just the size of imagery in our shopping experience. Next. My eBay, I love this announcement. Like a lot of our sales, about 8%, are repeat purchases. And we've made it really hard at eBay for people to find, buyers to find the things that they've bought before. We have recently launched searching in purchase history, which was like a #1 buyer ask for many years in purchase history. So a lot of people, if they bought something from you in the past, whether it was a pair of shoes or car part or whatever it was, they could easily go and re-access that and reorder as necessary. And then I love showing this one. One of the things we're launching right now, we're building right now, is when someone buys something and they leave a positive review for the seller, we have a great opportunity to say, hey, maybe you should save this seller. Save seller contributes to a big chunk of our revenue, and it's an awesome way for your inventory to populate buyers' home screens, their email and push notifications. And so when someone says, hey, I had a good time and reviews your transaction in the positive, we're going to suggest that they save you in an overlay that will pop up, and we're seeing great success from this. Next. We continue to personalize. Again, I said we're leaning into kind of showing off sellers in the buying experience, but we've redesigned our recommended seller module on the homepage. So if someone has interacted with your items or categories that you over-index and do a great job in selling, we will many times recommend your items. The grid of items now is clickable. So those 4 shoes you see here, someone could go right into your listing from there. They could also save you as a seller in this screen, or also click into your other items if they click onto the icon there. We're bringing seller-initiated offers and pinning them to the top of the homepage. So we've seen great engagement with the seller-initiated offer feature, which I know Harry's talked about with you many times in the past, and that's an awesome thing. And then we continue to just teach people how to eBay. A lot of eBay is about unlocking it, and many customers don't realize all of these awesome things that we have at their advantage, like saving a seller or making an offer. And so you see on the right-hand side, this is us just even more thoughtfully getting in front of customers and saying, hey, this is the next thing you should do here at eBay. And then lastly, we continue to modernize the view item page. I showed you some things earlier which were about design, but there are some new features that we're bringing, including video. So this is really new for eBay and something, again, that many people have been asking for. So now through our API listing services and partners, you can, as a seller, add videos to your listings. This is not available to everyone just yet. It's been, we're going to roll this out in a timely manner over the next couple of quarters, but we have launched this. You can find it in a bunch of different listings. And if you are interested in adding videos to your listings, we can help you out with that in terms of when it will be coming your way if you ask in the chat. But video is coming to eBay. The item page is the first time we'll be doing it, but we have other hopes to bring it to stores and other experiences later in the year. And then lastly, we just continue to redesign the item page on desktop. As you see here, it was something that we hadn't done much with in the last couple of years, and we're taking it very seriously. We've designed the zoom functionality on imagery. We've expanded the size of imagery. We've cleaned up a lot of the clutter, and we'll continue to keep pushing on that experience into the new year. And with that said, I am going to turn it over to one of the most awesome people at eBay that I know, Mr. Mohan Pai.
Thank you, Bradford. Hello, sellers. Great to be here. I've been watching the chat and the Q&A. I really wish we are in Vegas and doing a real eBay Open, but we'll take this. The theme for today, as Andrea called out, is about traffic. And I really wanted to kind of walk through how we can, increase traffic to eBay, but also to your listings, your store, and what you can do to help capitalize on all the things that you have. Bradford talked a lot about the great things that we're doing on the buyer experience and how we are improving the buyer experience. A lot of focus on retention. We really want to drive that repeat traffic so that we keep the whole flywheel going. So that's the focus of my presentation. So can we go to the next slide, please? I've talked with you about a lot of times on really about what are some of the key things that you can do to help represent your inventory the best way to our customers. So today I want to cover 4 things: high quality listings. What do we mean by that? Does it really matter? How does it help with eBay search, but also how does it help with SEO and also the paid marketing that eBay does on your behalf? And then let's talk a little bit about competitive pricing. And I know that you as sellers bring in really amazing inventory to the platform, and you also bring in competitive pricing. And I wanted to kind of highlight how we are showcasing that to our buyers so that our buyers get that eBay is absolutely the best platform of choice, because we have the most amazing sellers who bring in great inventory at great prices. And then it covered a little bit about post-transaction experiences and how that is very important that we offer a great service to our customers so that they come back to us, to our platform, to your sellers and your stores. And then I want to end with a little bit of an introduction to some of the promotions. And actually, that's going to be a deep dive that Harry's going to be doing. So that's the key focus of my presentation. So starting with high quality listings, in a simple way to think about it, provide the necessary information that allows us to showcase your listing. If we have a catalog, adopt our catalog, because we will automatically fill in all the aspects needed. But if on eBay, you sellers bring in lots of amazing, great, wide breadth of inventory, please do make sure that, use our tools like Therapy, use our tools like listing title recommendation, and get great titles and get the aspects filled in. I know I saw a lot of comments going on in aspects. Yes, we do agree that not everything is relevant. We totally get that. To sell a shoe, we have 50 different aspects. Maybe the 8 or 10 is the one that matters the most. And we are improving our tools and experience so that you understand what's the most important thing that our buyers need. For example, shoe size, shoe brand, what is the color? And our tools have improved over time so that you can understand how many keyword searches is searching for a particular brand or a certain type of aspect. So just kind of keep that in mind. So when we say great title aspects, that's what we mean. Photos always help. Bradford talked about how we are using imagery in the platform. And so that's where it starts. I'm not going to go over deep into video, but we've just started introducing video. It is shown right in the picture panel. It's available in the API tools today. It's going to come through to all selling platforms by the end of the year. And we would love to have all of our videos about you, about your product. And I think it really helps us to make the connection between buyers and sellers. And a video of the actual product you're selling will go a long way in addressing any questions about the quality of the item. So this is a huge thing for us, and we would love for all of you to participate, and it'll make our platform better. And then the last thing, clean images. I think we have the amazing tool set around the background cleanup. I highly recommend all of you to use it. And if there are any questions about how to use it or where it's available, let us know. Again, you bring in great inventory, and we can represent it the best way to our customer experience. So next slide, please. So I want to kind of talk about how we use the structured data that you've provided to create differentiated experiences to attract buyers. What you're seeing here is a new model level browse experiences. And what we've done here is just collecting very basic information. I know it's for sneakers, but you can see this applying to lots of different categories. So over here, the most important information we need is which model of Air Jordan 6 this is. This happens to be the Carmine White Black, and the code there is the style code. So when you give us that information, it really helps us to put together this kind of experience where it features your inventory on the top. It has all sellers selling the items in a browse experience with lots of content that is really great for discovery in search engines. So we have done this for sneakers. We're going to expand this for more categories. And the way we can associate your inventory is if you give us the critical aspects that is necessary for us to create this, what I call a mid-level browse experience. It's going to apply to all categories. You're selling travel mugs, then we would have a browse experience for travel mugs, but we need to know what size it is. Is it hot or cold, or is it for travel needs or not? So that's where aspects play a critical role, because when eBay builds experiences like this, it'll really help to bring all the inventory that fits in that model theme that we're trying to build. This has been a good success for us. We're going to expand to more categories, and that's where adopting the catalog or providing the critical aspects becomes really important. Next slide. So you all, if you're not aware, Google recently had their Google I/O. This is actually a screenshot from their presentation where they talked about the shopping graph. So, there's a lot of angst and questions about, do aspects really matter? It absolutely does. Google has clearly said that we need unique identifiers. If you're selling a branded product, what is the UPC? What is the GPIN? So that they can make the connection and association. This is 1 billion customers shopping on their product portfolio of search and YouTube. And this is where your inventory needs to be shown to the customers. And in order for us to do a great job to do that, we need the critical information so that Google can understand the inventory. So, and it goes beyond catalog, where aspects are very important, things like size, color, brand, material. This is how Google can make associations. Somebody's watching a YouTube video. If your product needs to show up, then we need to pass on enough information. So that's why it's very important for us. And we are actively participating in this. We submit all of your inventory to Google, both for the organic SEO channel, but also for the paid channel. But in order for us to do a great job in representing your inventory, we absolutely need the information from you, along with great photos, title, and aspects. So if you go to the next slide, you will see that this is available in the listing quality report today. And it is really an information about why some of your listings were not posted to Google. I highly recommend all of you to understand that. I recommend you to look at this report, because what it tells you is why a certain listing was not posted, because the image quality was not good, or the title was not great, or the aspects are missing. So these are all the rejections, and we really, really need your help to get you through this so that your listings are actually posted to Google, so that you get the traffic that you deserve. So this is an area where we're continuing to make it very clear and transparent to our sellers how the inventory quality is, how it is being evaluated, and how we can make sure that you've provided all the information needed so that your inventory is represented in all the places that we as eBay can push. So I see a lot of great questions on this. So we'll follow up with more details on how to get access to this report, but it is 100% there for anyone who is interested to see how their listing fares and if your listing when submitted to Google got rejected or not. Next slide, please. So that's the area around listing quality. And then I want to spend a little bit of time on competitive pricing. I want to start by first saying that you as sellers, you are the best. You know what an item should be priced at. You basically set the market price on eBay. So we are just providing you some tools just so that what are we seeing? You know, what are other sellers listing it on, around what condition, what the price range looks like, so that you can make the right decision on pricing. Buyers love competitive prices. And as I said earlier, we as a platform have the best value. And we want to give you the tools that you can use to stay competitive in the marketplace. And Great Price is another example where when you're selling a product where we know the market price and you have a competitive price, we automatically badge your listing. And this absolutely delivers conversion. This has driven multiple points of conversion wherever we find out that an inventory is aggressively and competitively priced with a great quality of a listing. And this has been really resonating well with our customers. Next slide, please. So I want to just talk a little bit about post-transaction experiences and what some of the things that you could do. And this is all about shipping, tracking, communication. So a couple of things that has really resonated with our customers. We recently launched the showing the delivery dates as a range. We know that carriers that we work with are not exactly right. You know, they give us a date, but sometimes it arrives early, sometimes it arrives late. So we've really done this where we actually provide a range to the buyer, and where we have seen that this really helps us with conversion. A lot of times these sellers do an amazing job. Items actually arrive our buyers much earlier than the dates that we provide, and showing this range has really helped. And we also started showing sellers who do same-day shipping, next-day shipping. This is a signal that we have on the view item page so that buyers understand that this inventory is quickly handled by the seller and sent as fast as it can be. So if you can do those, utilize those, because we're going to promote those as really positive signals to our buyers, and they are really resonating to that. And then a couple of other improvements that we've done in terms of fast and free. We have changed it to clear communication on what is the cost, which is free shipping in 3 days or free in 4 days. So you don't have to really do anything. If you just keep doing what you're already doing, offer great shipping services, and if it is free, we will highlight this to our buyers. And then last, if not least, use track services wherever possible. Our buyers overall at e-commerce really care about tracking. It's ease of mind for them to know where things are, where their item is, anywhere in the journey. So I think that whenever possible, you use track services. We launched the eBay standard envelope for trading cards for the same reason. We negotiated a great deal for our sellers so that you can actually deliver a track services for a low ASP item like a trading card, where it's only $4 or $5, but you can still, for I think it's 30 cents or 40 cents, you can get a track service along with that. So that's the post-transaction experiences. And then next slide, please. And I want to end with this. This is around promotions. First and foremost, promoted listing. I know some of you sellers participate in it. When you have a high quality listing and a competitive price, you would get a lot of velocity on the platform. But if you really want to push for this, And if you want to increase velocity, I would highly recommend you try out promoted listing. There is different versions of this product now. There is a CPA product where you put in an ad rate on top of the existing listing. There is a new CPC format, which is a keyword-based bidding tool that is in beta and pilot that you will all have access to soon. And we even have some new programs that we're thinking about for the auction experience. And then there's a couple of things around coded coupons. Is one of my favorite products that we have worked across with Harry's team, really allowing sellers to create coupons. You can target your buyer base and you can include them in your listing. You can include them in your packing slip. And it's an experience that we highlight, like you do a search, we highlight sellers who are offering coupons to our buyers. And then you can go into that experience, see all your items that has the coupon. We're really trying to drive our buyers into the areas where our sellers are promoting their items. And then the last but not least, seller initiated offer. It's been a huge success for all of us. Best offer is an amazing format. It really connects our buyers and sellers. And with the seller initiated offer, we are giving the control back to you, where you can target a list of buyers who are interested in your inventory and create dedicated offers for them. It has been an amazing success. We're going to continue to expand this program. Bradford showed how, in many ways in the shopping experience, we bring these offers in front of our buyers. So I highly recommend all of you to think about some of these promotional levers and making sure your listing is competitively priced, and then also providing the right listing quality so that we can drive velocity to the platform and get our buyers to come back to eBay, to your store. So with that, I want to hand it over to Harry to get more detail into promotions. And I heard there's going to be some awesome demos too. So thank you.
All right, thanks, Mohan. Let me take control of the screen here. Let's see if I can make this work. Hello, sellers. We're going to do desktop. All right, let's get rid of this. Can you guys see my screen all right? Hopefully, yes. All right. It's great to see so many familiar names as always. Actually, Liz, you called it an open light. I love it. I think I saw over 900 sellers on the call. So this is like an eBay Open. As you said, Mohan, it would be good if we were all in person, but hey, we're doing it on Zoom. If you guys don't know me, most everybody does. I'm Harry Temkin. I run Selling Experience, and my team's responsible for all the analytics and tools that help you manage your business on eBay. And our mission is to continue to enhance and build great new tools that help you sell more effectively. And you guys know that whenever I present new features or capabilities, I always refer to how they build upon our core principles of being your platform of choice. So the first is efficiency, right? Making it easier for you to list and manage your inventory. 2 is conversion, which is helping you to drive more sales. And 3 is profitability, helping you to grow your business effectively. And today, especially with the recent launch of coded coupons, and you've heard a lot of us talk about coded coupons, I thought I'd take some time and review all the marketing tools available to you and to show you how and when to use each one to help drive more conversion and maximize your profitability. Now, in addition to that, I am super excited to announce the latest set of sales insight features on the Seller Hub Performance tab. You guys have been waiting this for a long time, but it now is going to include sales classified by best offer and by seller initiated offers, as well as viewing and downloading a full year of sales data. That's right, a full year now of sales data. You're going to see a new link that I'm going to show you. It says, let me even see year to date. Super, super cool. It's also going to show total quantity sold and allow you to rank by total quantity or by total sales now. So really, really significant enhancements. And again, I'm going to demo all that for you guys today. All right, so let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so let's get started with marketing tools, or what we affectionately call SME internally, the Seller Marketing Engine. And there are 3 key ways that using promotions can benefit your listing's performance. First, close the deal with a more attractive price. So you want to make your listing stand out by highlighting a good deal, right? And this is true for large promotional offers like a sales event, or with more specific targeted offers like using seller-initiated offers. 2, you want to accelerate sales of specific inventory. So That could be seasonal items at peak times, or it could just be old stock that you want to clear out, right? So there's actually quite a few of the marketing tools that this works well with. So sales event is one, volume pricing, order discount, and coded coupons. I mean, they're all great tools to really help drive larger orders by encouraging customers to buy more from you. And finally, 3, you want to delight your customers and bring them back, obviously, particularly to your store. So while all promotions have an emotional factor to them, some are stronger at building a rapport between you and your buyers. For example, coded coupons is a great one, and that can help you to build a loyal set of buyers and encourages them to come back to your store. All right, so now let's talk about how you really utilize the different promotions. So I've got a diagram here, and this represents really the natural states where promotions work best, depending upon your price and quantity, and then which are the right set of tools to drive more conversion. So let's start with volume pricing. And this is going to work really well for low to mid-priced items where you have multiple quantities available to sell. And we even show this in the listing tool. We tell you that our data shows that when you use volume pricing on multiple quantity listings, it can actually help increase conversion by up to 10%. So it's pretty significant when you have more than one of the items. Now, order discount and shipping discount work best when volume or purchase frequency isn't that high. And you really want to enable and you want to encourage purchasing of multiple items in one order. You then have markdown sales events. And these are key for moving, again, like I said earlier, say specific seasonal inventory or old stock that you want to clear out. And finally, you've got the negotiation tools, right? You've got best offer and seller-initiated offers. I mean, they're great conversion tools for higher priced items because they enable you and the buyer to negotiate on price. And again, here, all of our data shows that, if you add best offer to your listing, it actually can help increase conversion by anywhere between 4 and 7%. Okay. All right, let's go on to the next slide. So it's actually the same slide, but what I'm doing is I'm highlighting each one so we can talk about how coded coupons overlay on top of these, right? And look, I'm not going to go through all the features of coded coupons. I did that at the last Seller Chick, and I've got a bunch of other demos that I want to do. But I do want to highlight some of the important benefits compared to the other marketing tools. All right, so one, and you've heard me talk about this last time as well. I kind of think of coded coupons as supercharged seller-initiated offers. So, where an SIO or, SIOs, I should say, are personalized discounts on individual items, coded coupons can be personalized discounts on some or all of your inventory. So that's where it's super, super powerful. Now, coded coupons also have all the same discount types as the other marketing tools, particularly order discount. I think there's well over 10 different discount types in there, but the advantage of coded coupons is they come with margin controls, right? You can determine, how many times the coupon can be used, how much savings can a buyer have on that coupon. You can reach a maximum amount, basically, so you can control that. And that's an important feature of coded coupons. And here's the other thing. Coded coupons are a proactive tool rather than a reactive tool. Now, you've heard me talk a lot about transforming the platform from being, very reactive after the fact based to being a proactive, real-time platform. A lot of what we did with item specifics, was much more proactive. This is kind of the same thing. And what I mean by that is you can now proactively share the coupon code, both publicly and privately, inviting buyers directly to your listings and your store. So, if you think about it, I mean, you do have, your page effectively that you can share that have all of your offers on it, all of your promotions. But normally, a seller is searching for inventory. And when they search for the inventory, it's then when they see the discount, right? They see that on the search result page. There's a little teaser there that shows if there's a coupon or a markdown, savings event. And then, of course, they see it on view item. But they have to go there to see that, whereas you actually can share the coupon proactively with them. It has the discount and it brings them directly back, to all of the listings that have that. So it's a really, really nice feature to be able to do that. Okay, so now let's have a look at some of the examples of how these promotions are presented to buyers. And then we're going to switch out of the PowerPoint into the fun part, which is real-time demo. All right, so, just quickly, and again, this is all courtesy of Mohan and Bradford, I mean, this is all in search and view item basically as to how do these appear to a buyer. So first you see on the left, when you use a sales event, basically you have the price, and then right below it, it has the was, right, with a strike through, and then the discount that they're getting on that. I think one of the biggest things that we did was add what we call the pill effect or the pill features to view item for multi-quantity listings. So you see here, what we're doing is we're showing you right there, calculating the discount that the buyer is getting as they buy more. And all they really have to do is click on that. It's a button they can activate, it's a call to action, and immediately they're getting the discount, and the quantity is set for checkout. And of course, one of the biggest drivers last year and this year just continues to be used at an exponential rate is offers to buyers or seller initiated offers, where again, you are sending a personalized discount to your watchers of the item, or someone who's heavy browsed the item, or if someone has put the item in checkout and they haven't actually checked out, this gives you the ability to sort of push them over that line. And then finally, on the far right are just examples of a coupon code or an order discount that you would see, like, buy two and get 10% off, that kind of thing. All right. Okay, so let's switch over to real product. All right, so here we are in Seller Hub, and what I wanted to do is basically show you all of the entry points of how you get to the marketing tools. And you know what I need to do? Hold on one second. I just need to move you guys off my screen so I can actually get to the button. There we go. So first off, where am I, right? Like if we were to start on listings, all right, so here's my active listing page. I'm going to click on the marketing tab. And one of the things that we've done is we've actually put a banner right here at the top of the screen to call attention to the new service, which is Create Coupon. And again, you guys are big time utilizing this. We recognize that the entry point was a little bit hidden. And so, being such, a new feature with all of its great capabilities, we wanted to expose it and make it a lot easier to get to. So we've added this banner directly on the front page of marketing, okay? But ultimately, I could click on promotions here off the graph, or I can click on promotions under merchandising. And when I do that, it's going to take me in. Now, you're going to see that I actually haven't had any sales on promotions. I've got a lot down here. I've got volume pricing that is going, and you'll see why. I mean, I'm selling some very unique things with volume pricing, some old dishware that I've got up. So it's kind of unique stuff. But you'll see how I've engaged volume pricing, and I've got some coupons that are running. But essentially, you want to click on this blue button to create a promotion. And this is where you're going to see all of the various promotions. Again, you've got order discount, you've got shipping discount, which, by the way, that is also being upgraded. You're going to see a new interface very shortly. It looks very similar to the coded coupon interface. So all new technology there. It's going to make it a lot easier to engage that. You have volume pricing there. And of course, you've got the new coded coupon feature. We've got the little new button there to call attention to it. And you have the sale event and markdown, okay? Now, what I also want to show you is where we've started to integrate a lot of this functionality into other parts of the platform to make it much easier, again, to engage these capabilities. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to active listings. And one of the things that you'll see is a filter pill. You guys will remember, obviously, that we have the send offers pill, right? So it's showing which of my listings are eligible to send offers on. There are 10 at the moment. So I could actually click that filter pill, which actually, let's just do that real quick. It'll filter all my listings on ones that are eligible to send SIOs. It's now defaulting to send an offer here. And I can also do this in bulk and send % or dollar discount across any one of those listings. Now, what I also want to do is click on the multiple quantity button. So this was built specifically for volume pricing. And again, I'm going to filter on multiple quantity listings. And what you're going to see here is a new column that shows promotions and is actually showing the volume pricing promotion that I have engaged on these listings. And remember, over the course of the last year, 2 years, we've added a lot more columns, right? We added promoted listings and the ability to edit promoted listings directly from here and in bulk. We added the item specifics column to indicate to you missing recommended or required item specifics and edit those in bulk. And now we've added promotions. Our intention is to go obviously beyond volume pricing and to add order discount and the other capabilities. I'm also going to show you where we've integrated coded coupons already into many of these displays. But here you already see that, again, I've got some Tiffany China up. And I do have, several of these. I've already sold some of them, but they are quite unique. But again, I'm trying to entice my buyers to buy more than one. So buying 2, you get 5 off. If you buy 3, 10% off. And I can actually edit the volume pricing right from here. Okay, and I can do that in bulk as well across multiple listings, just selecting. You again see the default action is to add and edit volume pricing directly from here. So again, the design of active listings, this is really where you manage all of your inventory, and where we can make it efficient to engage promoted listings, to tell you about item specifics, to add promotions. We want to do that all directly from here, again, just to make it easier to do so. Now, don't forget that this is also part of the listing flow. So I'm going to actually jump into the new unified listing tool for one of these Tiffany listings. And you will see at the bottom here, there is a sell it faster section. This was also in the existing tool. And so when you are listing a multi-quantity listing, that was a little repetitive, but when you are listing a listing that has multiple quantity, you can add volume pricing right at the time of creation as well. Just makes it a lot easier. So we've added these things right next to promoted listings in Sell It Faster. Okay. Now, the last thing that I want to show you here is where we've also integrated coded coupons. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my managed order screen. All right. So these are 2 sales here. And what you'll see is that when I actually click on one of my sales, you will see that it says print coupon. And so right directly from the order screen, you can now print the coupon so that you can put that in the package if you want a standalone coupon. You'll also be able to add it to the packing slip, which makes it even more convenient. And in this next quarter, you're going to be able to actually send the coupon directly from here to the buyer. And as we've talked a lot about, you see the indicators here on the order screen. You've got authenticity guarantee, sold via promoted listings. It will also tell you if it's a repeat buyer. So, lots of ways to encourage repeat buyers to come back to your store by sending coupons. All right. I know I'm a little bit short on time. I'm watching the clock here. So the last demo that I want to show you is the Performance tab. By the way, you asked about the LQR. This is where you can download the LQR right here, the Listings Improvement Recommendations, right at the top on the summary page. It's also on the traffic page. And here you'll see this year. And I'm going to click on this year. It's going to take me over into the detail page. And you're going to see all of my sales from January 1st now to June 24th. All right. And the beauty here now is you will see a new button that says offer sales. And so when I click on that, it'll change the display and now tell me the percentage of listings that sold via best offer or SIO or sales without offers. And in my case, you can see that 3/4 of my sales were done using best offer. So that is pretty significant. And that is what's really powerful about the tool now, is that it's going to enable you to understand which of the conversion drivers are working best for you. Over time, we'll add more filters here, of course, store category and the like, so you can really understand what is driving your performance. Now, as I mentioned to you, total sales, right, and quantity sold are also rankable here. There's also a filter pill here. So if I want to see sold via best offer, it will now filter the results. And of course, I can rank on total sales there now as well. All of this, of course, available in the download report. And so with that, I will turn it back over to Andrea.
Thank you, Harry. Yet another amazing demo and just so much information, which is amazing. So I am back with some very bittersweet news, and that is that a member of our community is going to be leaving us, and that is that Harry has announced that he is leaving eBay to pursue other opportunities. And so I did want to take a moment to say thank you, and this slide perfectly sums things up. So I don't think I have to say we will deeply miss Harry, and we are so proud of everything that he's done and his membership in our community for the last 3 years. There is no denying that he is leaving an indelible mark on the company and on our community. You all know that he has led some large transformations, from supporting managed payments to expansion of Terapeak, to really a renewed overall vision for Seller Hub and the tools so many tools, many of which we just talked about, but seller initiated offer, coded coupons, multi-user access, time away, I could go on and on. I see that you're recognizing his contribution in the chat, which is lovely. He really has been an amazingly active member of our community. And as many of you know, Harry, as he was just showing us, is an active seller, selling videos, his son selling sneakers. And so, he uses the product, knows it intimately. And all that adds up to a moment to say thank you and to say that we will miss seeing Harry at these check-ins, participating in his demos. And so just wanted to say thank you and recognize him. And I will turn things over to Harry in case you want to say a few words, Harry.
It's a little emotional. So, thank you so much, Andrea. And, there's no fitting way to say goodbye than to do a demo, right? It's what I love to do. It's what I've always loved to do for you guys. And I would just say, look, one of my primary goals when I came to eBay was to connect with all of you, our sellers. And, I think I accomplished that, from open to upfronts, to meetups, to check-ins, to podcasts, to Facebook groups, community boards, askharry at ebay.com. I feel like I made a connection with all of you. So many wonderful relationships have been forged, and, this is truly a special company and a special place, and it really is a special community, and I won't forget it. And it's been a privilege to build so many capabilities on your behalf. And, I would say it one more time, always to be more efficient, drive conversion, and grow your business profitably. So it's been an awesome 3 years, and thanks very much.
Harry, I hope you're feeling the love from the chat. It's comments after comments, just expressing our thanks and best wishes. As I say, you've left a huge mark, and I can see it in all the seller comments. And so I think this is a fitting place to end. Rebecca, do you want to come in and wrap us up? Harry, thanks again.
Thank you.
Yeah, we are going to end with thanking Harry for his time here. I know that we promised you sellers Q&A, but it feels like we can't possibly top this moment, because Harry's had such an impact on our community. He's meant so much to the sellers. I think the comment that I've seen the most is basically no. So Harry, know how important you've been to everyone. I saw you're amazing. Thank you. Best of luck. And I think I agree most of all with Betsy, who said how lucky we have been to have you with us for the last 3 years. So thank you so much. Our final thought. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't have any words, honestly. I'm just reading, all the thank yous, and I only just, I thank you guys. It's what made me get up every day. I loved every minute. I think my cherished moments were eBay Open, to be honest with you, and the upfronts, where there was nothing more exciting than those events and to getting to meet all of you in person. I loved meetups. Like I said, my favorite thing was spending time with you and showing you how to get the most value out of the product. So thanks for your kind words, and thanks everybody. I really appreciate it.
Thanks so much. And so with that, we'll wrap it up. Harry mentioned Open. We are planning to announce Open soon. That will be August 4th through 6th. We'll put the link again in the chat for any unanswered questions, since we didn't get to Q&A today. And most of all, just if this is your last moment, please thank Harry for everything that he's done. And then as we end, please take the survey. There's a nice surprise for everyone. And thank you so much for spending this hour with us today. I hope everyone has a great afternoon and evening. Thank you all.